Welcome to Global Beach Women, a place to celebrate the diverse, powerful, and inspiring beauty of women around the world. Today, let's explore the beauty of American women, not only in their attractive appearance, but also in their intelligence, bravery, and desire for freedom. They are symbols of independence, modernity, and constant breakthroughs. Global Beach Women, where beauty has no stereotypes, only stories to spread. American women are one of the most influential groups of women in the world today. In a multi-ethnic, strongly developing, and global society like America, the role of women is not only limited to the family, but has spread strongly to the fields of politics, economics, education, culture, and society. They have fought tirelessly for gender equality, physical autonomy, economic rights, and their political voice, creating an image of a modern, independent, and highly educated woman. However, behind these remarkable achievements, there are still many inequalities, social prejudices, and invisible pressures. Looking at the overall picture of American women today, we cannot only see the halo, but also have to look straight at the challenges, conflicts, and tireless efforts to gain a worthy position in society. 1. American women. The journey for rights. American history is a continuous flow of struggles for equal rights, in which women are a pioneering force. As early as the early 19th century, women spoke up for the right to vote, something that was considered a privilege of white men. The struggle lasted for decades and was only truly successful when the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was passed in 1920, giving women the legal right to vote nationwide. Then, in the 1960s and 1970s, the feminist movement in the United States exploded strongly, demanding not only the right to vote or work, but also the right to abortion, the right to body self-determination, and the right to equal treatment in marriage, education, and the workplace. The Me Too movement in the late 2010s was the next wave, reflecting the reality that women still face sexual harassment and violence even in modern environments. Today, American women can become CEOs, congressmen, military generals, or astronauts. However, the road to equality is not over yet. They continue to face pay gaps, gender bias in their careers, and reproductive rights issues, especially as some states tighten abortion laws. 2. The role of us women in the family, tradition and change. The image of American women in the family has traditionally been associated with the role of mother, wife, the one who cares for, raises children, and manages daily life. However, as the proportion of women participating in the workforce increases, that role has shifted dramatically. Today, many women are both mothers and the main economic pillars of their families. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, nearly 30% of single-parent households are headed by women, which reflects not only their independence, but also the pressure they put on their shoulders. Families with two working people are becoming more common, forcing both husband and wife to share housework and childcare, a positive change in modern family structure. However, not all women are lucky enough to have a partner who is willing to share. According to a survey by the Pew Research Center, women still spend an average of 4 to 5 hours more per week on housework and childcare than men, even when they work full-time. This shows that, despite many advances in society, invisible norms still place a heavy burden of family care on women. In addition, motherhood in the United States also faces great pressure from the culture of perfect motherhood, which is portrayed by social networks and the media. Many women feel guilty for going to work instead of staying home to care for their children, or are judged for not breastfeeding, not sending their children to private schools. All of these reflect a reality. Modern society has opened up many opportunities for women, but at the same time, it also places heavier expectations on them than ever before. 3. American women and education, the foundation for independence. One of the brightest spots in the picture of American women is their high level of education and strong participation in the education system. As of 2023, women account for more than 58% of undergraduate and graduate students in the United States, a figure that far exceeds that of men. Women are not only studying for degrees, but also participating deeply in research, teaching, and becoming outstanding scientists, scholars, doctors, engineers, and economists. Many American women have won Nobel Prizes, worked at NASA, and headed major universities, showing their ability and growing presence in academia. However, there is still a gender gap in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics fields, where women are still underrepresented or lack opportunities for advancement. Although there are many programs to encourage female students to pursue these fields, cultural barriers and career stereotypes still exist. In addition, women of color, immigrant women, or women from disadvantaged backgrounds still face greater obstacles in accessing quality education. It is noteworthy that education has become a tool for American women to assert their independence. Many choose not to marry or have children early, focusing on education and career first. This is a significant shift from previous generations, reflecting the self-determination spirit that is so typical of modern women. American women in politics, from voters to leaders of the nation. From being just people demanding the right to vote, today American women have truly entered the center of national politics as legislators, activists, governors, and even presidential candidates. Kamala Harris becoming the first female vice president in U.S. history in 2021 is a symbolic milestone for the change in social awareness and leadership of women. By 2024, women will make up 28% of the U.S. Congress, a record high, but still far from the overall population. At the state and local levels, women are also increasingly represented as mayors, state legislators, and in government positions. They are involved in policymaking on education, health, the environment, social welfare, and women's rights, areas that directly impact people's lives. However, presence does not mean equality. Many female politicians still face gender stereotypes, personal attacks on appearance, privacy, and dress, something that men rarely face. In addition, women of color, Muslims, and LGBTQ+ women who enter politics also have to deal with racism, xenophobia, and sexism at the same time. Yet, with feminist organizations, advocacy communities, and movements like She Should Run and Emily's List, more and more young women are being inspired to enter politics. They're no longer just following politics, they're shaping it. 5. U.S. women in the economy, the silent pillar of the labor market. American women today play an indispensable role in the country's economy. Nearly 47% of the U.S. workforce is female, and the proportion of women working full-time is increasing, especially in the service, health, education, and technology industries. During the COVID-19 pandemic, women, especially nurses, teachers, grocery store workers, and caregivers, have been on the front lines of keeping society running. Yet they have also been hit hardest by job losses, reduced hours, and childcare when schools closed. That means women are still shouldering both the public and domestic responsibilities during crises. A big irony is that women still earn only about 82 cents for every dollar earned by men, according to the U.S. Department of Labor. The pay gap is even wider by race. Black, Latina, and Native American women are worse off. Women are still few and far between in executive roles, even as more and more are breaking the glass ceiling to become CEOs like Mary Barra, General Motors, Jane Fraser, Citibank, and Rosalind Brewer, Walgreens. Women's entrepreneurship is also on the rise. According to 2023 data, women account for nearly 40% of new small businesses in the United States. Yet they still struggle to access capital, mentorship, and support networks, especially if they are minorities or lack strong political or business connections. In short, women are more than just workers. They are innovators, family financial managers, and business leaders in the modern economy. 6. U.S. women in the arts, media, and popular culture. Popular culture is one of the world's largest influence machines, and women play a crucial role in it. They are actors, singers, directors, producers, writers, designers, models, influencers, shaping trends, ideas, and social values through art and media. From legends like Oprah Winfrey, Madonna, Meryl Streep to the new generation like, say, Taylor Swift, Zendaya, Greta Gerwig, women are gradually asserting that they are not just pretty faces, but story makers. Films produced by female directors such as Barbie, Nomadland, Lady Bird have been honored at major awards, contributing to changing the way of storytelling that is traditionally dominated by male perspectives. However, women in the entertainment and media industry are still constrained by appearance standards, age, and gender stereotypes. Many actresses are excluded from leading roles when they turn 40. while men of the same age are still sought after. In addition, women in the news and television industry are also under pressure to be beautiful, be gentle, be proper, which limits their freedom of expression and criticism. On social media, women have greater opportunities to build their personal brands, but at the same time, they also face more cyber violence, bullying, and body scrutinization than men. Many celebrities, such as Billie Eilish, Lizzo, or Meghan Markle, have spoken out against these toxic impositions, opening up a safer space for the younger generation. It can be said that American women not only contribute to the development of art, they redefine art through their own experiences, perspectives, and voices. American women in education and scientific research, awakening intelligence, pavement of knowledge. American women are increasingly asserting their position in the fields of education and scientific research, fields that were once dominated by men. According to statistics, women now account for more than 56% of university students in the U.S., and more of them are pursuing difficult fields of study such as technology, medicine, law, engineering, which were previously very few for women. However, a large presence in the lecture hall does not mean a presence in high positions in science. In the positions of professor, department head, principal researcher, women are still a minority, especially in STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. At prestigious universities, women often face implicit stereotypes that they lack the ability to conduct independent research, or will be absent due to family reasons. Women like Jennifer Doudna, Nobel Prize in Chemistry, Frances Arnold, Xiaolan Wu, Qin Xiong Wu, and in the field of AI, Fei Li, have demonstrated the pinnacle of female scientific ability. However, many of them have to overcome social barriers, isolation in the academic environment, and lack of family support. A positive sign is that there are more and more programs to support young women pursuing science, such as Girls Who Code, AAUW STEM programs, or scholarships specifically for female PhD students. These programs are gradually thinning the gender barrier in education, creating the premise for a generation of dynamic and resilient female scientists. 8. Women in health: physical, mental, and right to choose. Health has always been an essential part of women's lives, but in the United States, where the healthcare system is heavily dependent on insurance and economic conditions, women's health is closely linked to social inequality. American women have a longer life expectancy than men, about 79 to 80 years old, but they face many specific diseases such as breast cancer, osteoporosis, endocrine disorders, postpartum depression. In particular, reproductive health care is always a sensitive and highly politicized issue. The U.S. Supreme Court's repeal of Roe v. Wade in 2022, thereby ending women's constitutional right to legal abortion, has caused a strong wave of protests nationwide. Millions of women, especially poor women and women of color in conservative states, are left without access to safe abortion services. This affects not only their physical health, but also their mental health and their right to personal choice. Mental health is also becoming a pressing issue. Women suffer from anxiety, depression, and eating disorders at higher rates than men, while access to therapy remains expensive and socially stigmatized. Movements like #Mental Health Matters and campaigns from organizations like NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, have helped raise awareness and support for women seeking mental health help. Health is not just a medical issue, it is an equity issue. Women are not just demanding health care, they are demanding the right to make decisions about their bodies. 9. American women and the fight for gender equality, a battle that never ended. From the 19th century to the third and fourth waves of feminism, American women have always been at the center of the fight for gender equality. They have demanded voting rights, labor rights, reproductive rights, the right to be safe from gender violence, and the right to express themselves without being limited by stereotypes. The Me Too movement that broke out in 2017 has opened a new era for feminism in the U.S. A series of powerful figures, from Hollywood to politics, have been accused of sexual abuse. This is not just a matter of exposing individuals, but also an overthrow of the entire system of silence and tolerance for harassment of women. However, gender inequality still persists. Women of color, immigrant women, and LGBTQ+ women are still the most disadvantaged. They need more than just gender justice. They need racial, economic, and identity justice. Modern feminist movements are increasingly intersectional, ensuring that no one is left behind in the fight. The fight has never been easy, but American women have never stopped. 10. The new generation of women: diverse, resilient, and future affected. If you look at American women today, you see a picture of unprecedented diversity. They are white, black, indigenous, Asian, Latinx, immigrant, transgender, disabled. They live in cities, in rural areas on the border. They are CEOs, single mothers, janitors, inventors, artists. What they have in common is not a role model, but rather a sense of self-worth and autonomy. Young women today not only want power, but want that power to bring about real change. They are involved in politics, entrepreneurship, content creation, and science, but they are also willing to speak out on issues of justice, human rights, and the environment. This new generation is not just continuing the legacy of their predecessors, they are redefining the role of American women in the 21st century: more flexible, more proactive, and more diverse.